It's 1955. Britain is rebuilding, recharging, and reimagining itself. The war is behind us. Rationing has finally ended, and color, both in spirit and in fashion, is slowly returning to everyday life. There's a hum of optimism in the air. Televisions flicker to life. Families plan seaside holidays, and a new Queen's portrait watches over shop tills and mantelpieces. Most people still live modestly, earning only a few pounds a week. Yet somehow, life feels full. A single one-note could stretch across an entire week, feeding a family, fueling a car, and still leaving a few shillings for the pub. So, what could £1 really buy in 1955? Let's step back 70 years into a Britain of milk floats, corner shops, and quiet pride and rediscover what everyday life truly cost. Number 1. The Friday pay packet. Every working man knew the feel of payday. No digital transfers, no direct deposit. Just a small brown envelope handed out on Friday afternoon. Inside, crisp notes, heavy coins, and a sense of accomplishment. The average weekly wage in 1955 was around £9, or roughly £250 in today's money. It doesn't sound like much, but it was enough for rent, groceries, and a few small luxuries. A skilled tradesman, a carpenter, or an engineer might bring home £12 a week, while a shop assistant earned £6. Money had weight. You counted it out on the kitchen table, divided it for rent, bills, and savings, and maybe kept a few coins aside for a pint. Families stretched every pound and respected it. Today, a 9B note wouldn't even fill a petrol tank. But back then it was the rhythm of life itself. Number 2. A pint of beer. The local pub was more than a place to drink. It was a community center, confessional, and a comedy club. Alanoni. In 1955, a pint of bitter or mild from brands like whipped bread or double diamond cost around 1 shilling and 3p, equal to about £140 today. That meant a man could buy 7 pints with a single pound note and still afford crisps for the table. Pubs smelled of smoke ale and friendship. The landlord knew everyone's name, and last orders meant stories you'd remember all week. Compare that with today, where a pint often costs £5 or £6, and pubs close by the hundreds each year. In 1955, beer wasn't an indulgence, it was part of belonging. Number 3. Fish and chips for the family. Few sounds in Britain were as comforting as the rustle of newspaper filled with chips. For 2 shillings and 6p, around £350 today, a family of 4 could eat their fill. Each Friday, queues stretched outside the chippy, the air thick with a scent of vinegar and frying oil. Fish was fried in beef, dripping. The chips golden and soft, and nobody cared about calories. You'd sit on a bench, pass the salt, and let the heat of the paper warm your hands. Today, a family meal costs £25 or more, but it never tastes the same. In 1955, fish and chips weren't takeaway. They were tradition. Number 4. A cinema ticket. 2 shillings, around £260 today, was your ticket to another world. You dressed up for the cinema. It was an event, not an errand. You queued outside with sweets from Woolworths and whispered through the news reel before the main feature. 1955 was the year of the Lady Killers, Doctor at Sea, and the Dam Busters. You got a cartoon, a film, and sometimes even a live piano player in smaller towns. Today, a ticket costs 12 to 15, and people scroll through their phones while the film plays. Back then, the big screen was pure magic, and everyone watched together. Number 5. Weekly groceries. Most families spend around £2 a week on food. That's about £56 today. You bought everything from local shops. The butcher, the greengrocer, the baker, the fishmonger. Each transaction came with a chat and often a little extra slipped into the bag for the kids. Nothing came wrapped in plastic. Tea was weighed by hand, butter cut from a block, and eggs stacked carefully in cardboard trays. A chicken stretched over 3 meals and leftover vegetables became tomorrow's soup. Now, the average weekly food shop costs 90 to 100, and most of it comes from a self-checkout machine. In 1955, the food wasn't fancy, but it fed more. than just the stomach. Number 6. A gallon of petrol. Petrol cost about 30 old pence a gallon. That's 360 pounds in today's value, or around 80 a liter. A gallon could take you 30 meters in your Austin A30 or Morris Minor, and attendants filled your tank for you. They'd wipe your windscreen, check your oil, and send you off with a smile. Sundays were for drives, seaside trips, picnics, or just a spin to give the car a run. Today, the same gallon cost over 750 pounds, and you pump it yourself while staring at digital numbers ticking upward. Back then, every drop of petrol carried promise. Number 7. Buying a car. A brand new Ford Anglia cost around 550 pounds, equal to about 15,000 pounds today. It was often a family's proudest purchase. Cleaned every Sunday, waxed by hand, and driven with care. Cars were smaller, simpler, and entirely mechanical. If something broke, your dad fixed it with a spanner and a bit of patience. When a neighbor bought a new one, the whole street came out to see it. Now, average new car costs 25,000 pounds or more, and you can't repair a thing yourself. In 1955, the car wasn't just transport, it was freedom. Number 8. Council house rent. For about 110 pounds shillings a week, around 42 pounds today, you could rent a solid 2-bedroom council house. They weren't seen as temporary or second-class. They were homes built for working families, with pride. Each street was its own community. Gardens were tidy, back doors were unlocked, and neighbors borrowed tools and sugar without thinking twice. Now, the average rent is 1,200 pounds per month, and most people barely know who lives next door. In 1955, you didn't just rent a house, you joined a neighborhood. Music. Number 9. A new television. A Bush or Murphy black and white TV set cost around 60 pounds, about 1,600 pounds today. It was a huge investment, but once you had one, you invited the entire street over. People gathered to watch the Goon Show, What's My Line, or the FA Cup final. Chairs were pulled close, the curtains drawn, and the light of the screen filled the room. Now, a massive smart TV costs 400 pounds, yet everyone watches alone. In 1955, the television didn't isolate people. It brought them together. Number 10. A loaf of bread. A fresh loaf of Hove or Sunblast cost 9 old pence, equal to about 1 pound today. It came in paper wrapping, still warm from the oven, often bought daily from the local bakery. Families went through a loaf for day, toast for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, thick slices to mop up stew at night. Children tore off the crusts on the way home, leaving trails of crumbs behind. Today, a loaf costs 150 pounds, but it rarely tastes fresh. In 1955, bread wasn't processed. It was personal. Number 11. A cup of tea at a cafe. 4 old p. In today's value, bought you a strong cup of PG Tips or Typhoon in a local cafe. It came in a thick mug, often chipped with milk already poured in. You'd sit on a vinyl seat, read the Daily Express, and listen to chatter about football, weather, and the price of coal. For another penny, you could add a slice of Battenberg or a custard tart. Now, a cafe latte costs 350 pounds, served by someone who mispronounces your name. Back then, tea was connection, not convenience. Number 12. A haircut. 2 shillings and 6 pint, roughly 3 pounds. In today's value, got you a short back and sides. Barber shops were smoky, loud, and smelled of Brill cream, talc, and tobacco. You didn't make appointments. You just popped in, caught up on gossip, and left looking tidy. Men went every few weeks, always before church or payday. Today, you'll pay 25 pounds for the same trim. In 1955, it was part of routine, respectability, and pride. Number 13. A newspaper. For 3 old p or about 40p today, you could buy the Daily Express, the Mirror, or the Times. Every home had one, sometimes 2. You read it cover to cover, football, results, political debates, and the crossword in the back. Afterward, papers were reused to wrap fish, polish windows, or light the fire. Now most news is read on screens and forgotten in seconds. Back then, the morning paper set the tone for the entire day. Number 14. A pint of milk. A pint of milk cost 3 old p, around $35 today. Delivered in clinking glass bottles. It arrived before breakfast, often frozen at the top on winter mornings. Children raced to peel the foil cap, hoping no birds had poked through for a sip of the cream. It wasn't just about milk. It was about reliability. Even through snow or strikes, milkmen came. Now a pint costs 80 and you fetch it yourself from the supermarket. Back then, milk was a daily symbol of trust. Number 15. A new suit. A well-tailored suit from Burton's John Collier cost about £20 or £560 today. It was an investment bought for weddings, work, and pride. Men stood taller when they wore it. Shoes polished, hair combed. Tailor altered everything to fit perfectly. Fast fashion didn't exist. Quality did. Now, a cheap suit costs £100 and lasts a year, if you're lucky. In 1955, clothes weren't disposable. They were dignity. Number 16. A pound itself. A single one note in 1955 at Power. It was beautifully printed, green, and elegant with Queen Elizabeth I's young portrait. You could buy a full week's groceries, 6 pints of beer, or a family day out. It represented more than money. It represented effort. People didn't tap or click. They handed it over, looked the shopkeeper in the eye, and felt the exchange. Today, £1 can barely buy a chocolate bar. But once it was the heartbeat of daily life, stretched, respected, and never wasted. So, what did £1 really buy in 1955? Britain. It bought more than goods. It bought gratitude. Every purchase carried weight, meaning, and care. From the pub to the chippy, from the milk float to the tailor, life revolved around value, not volume. Maybe that's why those days still feel warmer in memory. Not because things were cheaper, but because people cherished what they had. Life cost less, but it meant more.